Hi there, caregivers. I want to talk to you today about how you can prepare for the holidays and how to make things easier. And I just want to let you know I'm going to be sharing my outline for this at the end of this video. So if you don't need to take notes or anything like that, there will be an outline for you there that you can take simple screenshots on if you choose to do that. And so let's dive into this. First thing you need to think about doing is adjusting your expectations and adjusting the expectations of the people who are going to be a part of your holiday celebrations. You need to give yourself permission to do only what you can reasonably manage to do. You're already doing a full-time job. You're already very, very busy. And so kind of step back and rethink. And in order to share that with people, you may want to call a face-to-face meeting or arrange for a group discussion online, or chatting on the phone. Or you may want to do something like writing a letter or an email and just giving everybody a heads up about the current situation and what you are dealing with now, and how, because of that, some expectations need to change for everybody who's going to be a part of the event. What about adjusting your expectations as you prepare for the actual event to happen? You may want to try to involve the person living with dementia in safe and manageable holiday preparation activities, things that they might be able to do. They might still be able to sweep off the sidewalk to get ready for people. They may even be able to, if it's early stage, just rake the lawn or do something that's just cleaning up the house or straightening up, maybe setting the table, doing something that would be a part of getting ready for the big event. And that is including them in on it. As much as you can, though, try to maintain the normal routine for the person living with dementia. And for the whole group, try to build on some traditions and some memories that you all have together, adjusting your expectations for how you might do that in the meantime. Okay, what about things like when Christmas is coming up or as a birthday celebration? What about things for gifts? Provide for people who will be a part of the gift giving suggestions for what might be useful and enjoyable gifts for the person who's living with dementia. Things like comfortable and easy to remove clothing, maybe their favorite music, creating a photo album that has family and friends in it and that will help them reminisce with you. Favorite treats that they have, something that's just kind of their favorite little goodie to have. All of those things would be great suggestions. Advise people not to give gifts such as dangerous tools or instruments, challenging board games, complicated electronic equipment, or pets. Now, there is a little bit of an exception for that pets thing because some people really, if they're not bringing a puppy into the house where you've got to create all kinds of extra work for you, if it's a mature, well-trained, younger dog, a cuddly dog, a dog maybe from a foster home, so you already know the personality and you know that would fit, kind of an easygoing, relaxed, snuggly kind of dog, they can have a wonderful impact on some people living with dementia. They can be very soothing. So pets may be a really bad idea, but in certain situations, and if it's done right, they may be an excellent idea. Involve the person in gift giving if you can. They may be able to help you a little bit in the kitchen if you're baking. They might be able to help with packing, like a stocking for the grandkids, laying everything out for them and letting them put things together for the sweet little grandson or granddaughter, and making that they were the ones who stuffed the stocking. And that just makes them a part of the event and creates good memories. Maybe wrapping a gift if that's something that they have done in the past and have enjoyed doing. If you're asked what kind of gift that you would like for them to consider, how about some house cleaning that either they provide or they may pay someone else to provide for you? How about working on the lawn, handyman services, laundry services, perhaps, if laundry is getting to be a big deal at your house, and in later stage caregiving, that might really be happening. Restaurant gift cards would be a really, really nice way for you to escape it, whether you can take your loved one with you or sometimes for you just to have a time out. Or maybe they could volunteer to visit for an afternoon so you could have some time off. Now, what about the day of the event? Plan the visit for a time of day where your loved one is going to be at his or her best. Late day in the events might not work anymore. They might be a tradition that needs to shift more toward earlier in the day where your loved one would be more at their best and able to handle and enjoy the event. Consider bringing something, invite them to consider bringing something familiar to read or a photo album that they've nestled away somewhere from their childhood that they'd like to share. But tell them to be prepared to skip it if necessary. Really important to be calm and quiet, to respect personal space of that person living with dementia. You need to watch for signals of fatigue or mild distress, and you may need to remove the person living with dementia from the room if needed, or if you're in another home, to take them back to your own home. Now, in terms of the personal space, I want you to do this binocular thing and think about, this is what is really going on. As we all age, our peripheral vision is narrowing. Person living with dementia is really narrowing. And so could you see someone coming next to you if you had this as your peripheral vision, as your full screen that was available to your eyes and your brain to process? If someone came up and started talking all of a sudden, could that be jarring? Explain that to people. Have them just do this and say, remember, Grandpa, this may only be able to see you if you're right in front of Grandpa. So you may want to come around, stand in front of him, look him straight in the eyes and smile, have a relaxed body language. And you may even want to say, hi, it's me. Hi, it's Mary. I love you, Grandpa. And then have a little conversation. I'm your granddaughter. I love you. Teach them how they can make it easier on themselves and the person living with dementia, and really everybody in the room, by just understanding how that personal space might be a little different from what it was 5 years ago. And so approaching them needs to be done, but it needs to be done respectfully, and it needs to be done knowledgeably at this point. Now, what about managing awkward situations on the day of the event? Once again, establishing eye contact, calling your loved one by their name, remind them who you are if you're not recognized. That's a lot had to say about what is the expression on your face? What kind of emotional vibe are you giving out? It needs to be relaxed and positive and loving and accepting. And even if that has to be a bit of an act, that simple thing can avoid a lot of awkward situations. So tell everybody about that ahead of time. Talk to them about them. You're going to be the advocate for your loved one right now, and you're going to be training people who are going to be around them as the primary caregiver. Now, what about if your loved one gets confused? Don't argue with them. Try to figure out what feeling is behind that agitation or that angry or negative response. Might they be confused by something? Might they be frustrated? Might they just have a little belt that's too tight, or something that's pinching them somewhere? Is there some little pain going on? Did they put on some new shoes and you didn't think about how that might pinch their feet? And that may come out as anger later. Simple things like that, common sense things. They're often softer feelings underneath what appears to be anger. And so try to remember that confusion, that fear, that frustration, anything like those softer feelings can come out as anger. And so speak and respond to those feelings. Oh, are those feet hurting you? Do I need to take those off and bring you your good slippers? Or, Oh, I bet you're feeling confused by all this craziness around here. You want to go take a break for a little bit? Let's go in here together. Just respond to those feelings. If you can distract them, then distract them and say, "Oh, I have something over here I wanted you to look at. Look at what I have." And try to get their mind and their focus onto something else. Now, if a loved one doesn't recognize you or doesn't recognize someone in the room, or if they're unkind or they respond angrily, do not take it personally. Do not yourself. Now, this I was talking about the loved one a minute ago. Now I'm talking about you or any member of the family. Tell them, that's that mean old. We named it Louis. We named John, my husband John had Lewy body dementia, and so we separated. I learned to separate Louis and give it a name, Louis, from John. And I would try to outsmart Louis and love John. Remember to support him. And so but when you come in a room and they come at you with anger, that's the moment when you need to do that separation. But you also need to take care of your own heart and your own feelings. So as quickly as you can, exit the situation, take some deep breaths, try to calm down. For those of you who take advantage of the power of prayer, say, "Help me, Lord, help me, help me, help me refocus." Continue to take those deep breaths and hold it and then let it out. And then go back in after a little bit, try again as if nothing happened. Remember, you're going for the Academy Award. You want to be that Meryl Streep. You want to be Tom Hanks. You want to be able to pull off that actor or actress thing where it's like nothing happened and you're starting that scene all over again. And you're like, "Hi, oh, how are you feeling today, sweetheart? I love you so much." Go into something very positive, very accepting. And that can allow the person to de-escalate themselves and kind of get more control. And that can help you do the same thing. And then when you re-enter, for them, it's just completely over. And you can just start fresh. Now, continuing talking about the day of the event, try to limit activities or the length of time your loved one is included in the activities. You may want to allow for them to have a break, give them quiet time away from the noise and confusion. If that's at your house, pick a spot. Hopefully you've got a bedroom, a place where this is their retreat, where you can close the door and maybe put on some white noise or some soft, relaxing music that they like, something that will kind of mask the roar of the crowd outside, and give them a time away where they can just rest. If you're at home, try to minimize rearranging the furniture as much as you can, because a person living with dementia is going to feel more safe in familiar surroundings. So try to keep it as familiar as possible when you're having to accommodate new people coming into the house. If you're away, kind of scan the room ahead of time where you're going to be spending most of the time, your loved one is. If there are any slippery throw rugs or hazards or barriers to them for movement and you being able to quickly exit, easily enter and be seated, look for those kind of things and let the person know ahead of time that you need for those barriers and hazards to be removed. And when you arrive, you may see things that they don't. And so let them know that so that it's not an affront to them in their own home. So educate people in advance as much as you can. Also, adhere to the regular medication schedule that your loved one is on. Remember to keep that in the forefront. You may want to set, if you've got a cell phone or there's a timer somewhere in the house, or you may assign someone in the family to be your reminder of the medication schedule, because you're going to be distracted by all the things that are coming into your house, if it's at your house or if you're at someone else's. You may need to have somebody help you remember to stay on that schedule. Avoid embarrassing comments that might confuse the loved one. A lot of us have someone in the family who's that kind of jokester who assumes we're always going to get the joke. the person living with dementia is probably not going to be able to get the joke after a certain point in time. And so it's better for those kinds of things not to happen. So just avoid that stuff around the person living with dementia if you can, and tell other people to do that. Try to involve all people of all ages in the meal preparation and the tasks. Remember, you want to give away all those jobs pretty much that you can, unless it's something that brings you joy and something you want to do. But let somebody else bring the turkey, let somebody else bring the ham, let somebody else fix all the major fixings. If there's something that's your favorite dish and it gives you great joy to make it and share it, great. But give everything else away. You're already doing enough. If you get out and about, try to avoid crowds. Try to avoid too many changes in routines or strange surroundings. What might have been joyful a couple of years ago might now be traumatizing to the person living with dementia. So keep that in mind when you're making family plans. If everybody wants to go somewhere, maybe one person or two people will volunteer to stay with your loved one so you can participate in that if you want to. Try to enjoy yourself in some things that you like to do. Be sure you don't leave yourself out of the joy. Try to be in that. Share that load with others as much as you can. Celebrate over lunch or brunch rather than later in the day. Like I said, timing is important. Consider serving only non-alcoholic drinks and try to keep the room bright. Use lights in the room. You want to avoid shadows, especially in unfamiliar places. Now, you also need to prepare for the post-holiday letdown. There's going to be some stress. There's going to be some fatigue as a result of that. And so you may want to arrange for some in-home care so that you can rest after. It may need to be paid in-home care so that you can just take a nap or sleep late the next morning. It may be a family member who's willing to give you that gift, but give yourself a chance to rest. Enjoy something you like a movie or having lunch with a friend, just something that gets you away a little bit, helps you escape physically, maybe emotionally, psychologically, just to kind of decompress from all the excitement. Now, the place that a couple of articles that I based this on, and I included some of my own thoughts, were from the Alzheimer's Association article called Holidays from October 2019, and the Alzheimer's Weekly article called Make Holidays Happier that was written back in 2016. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you the outline, if you'll give me a second so that you can, okay, let me see if I can get this to move for you. All righty. There we go. There's the title. Adjusting your expectations. Adjust expectations as you prepare. Expectations for gifts. The day of the event. Particularly how to manage awkward situations. There are lots of things from the day of the event. And then the post-holiday letdown. And if you want to go read the original sources, a couple of original sources that I used as I was putting this together, those are the sources. And remember, you can go back and you can, I'm going to stop the share right now. Okay, you can go back and you can pause when you're watching this video. You can pause it at any time and make a screenshot of any of those if you wish. I wish you happy holidays. Thank you for what you are doing. I hope you can enjoy your family. Remember, give it away, give it away, give it away. And by that, I mean the tasks. Give away a lot of those tasks. You're doing the heaviest lifting here. You need to accept and recognize that is exactly what's happening. So don't hesitate to give those tasks away. Educate your family and friends about their expectations and how they have changed. And ask them to please abide by that and be aware of that as you share together. And once again, thank you for all you do. It's amazing work. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody's lining up, but you are. You're showing up. And I hope you have a happy holiday and get to do some things to make it easier on yourself and your loved one this year.